I want to share something about manifesting. About 7 years ago, I wanted to have my financial freedom, and mostly I wanted it because I wanted to free up my time, decide to do what I wanted to do in my life. So I decided I was going to have it through real estate, and my objective was to have 40 properties by last December, which I did. I actually ended up with 42. What I found, though, is that something went wrong in manifesting because it came without financial freedom, and it came without lots of headaches. So I decided to go with the flow, and I started selling real estate. But I was wondering what happened, why it didn't go the way I wanted it to go.
First, we want to say it isn't done, and it's not uncommon when you know what you don't want that you get a little more of it. The grid that you had established from being busy, from doing a lot of things you didn't want to do, so you were seeking your financial independence from headaches, too much detail, having too many things to do. And so it was a strong part of your grid which filled in. You see what we're getting at? But when you have more to do than you want to do, you want more ease and peacefulness. And when you get too much ease and peacefulness, you want more activity. You're always defining. So now you have shown yourself that you can acquire property, which was the answer you thought you were looking for. We're going to come back and talk about what to do next. But before we do, we want to finish answering your question about so what happened. And in very easy words, we can explain to you that what basically happened was, and we want all of you to hear this because it's a tendency that everyone has. You tried to fill in your own grid rather than allowing law of attraction to fill it in by choosing the method through which the financial freedom would come. Could you kind of get a sense of that? And so instead of from a basis, this is really good. Instead of from a basis of actually feeling the ease that you were looking for and feeling the financial freedom that you were looking for by conjuring it and feeling it, you did what almost everybody does, try to fill in the grid. And those are really poignant words that we want you all to sort of ponder, because it's hard in this action orientation that you're all a part of not to jump on the first thing that seems like it's coming along and say that must be the avenue through which my well-being will come, or to try even more to orchestrate the avenue through which it will come. For a while we were using the terminology, if you talk about what you want and why you want it, you are more likely to accomplish the basis that will then fill in with the details. But when you talk about how it's going to come, or where it's going to come from, or who's going to bring it, or when it's going to come, because those are questions to which you usually don't have the answers, there's usually some unsettling energy going on in that process. So no worries. So now what? So now it's not different from the point that you started out from before, because wherever you stand, you're always in a new starting point. The demonstration that we've been offering for years, and it certainly applies, is I know what I don't want, I know what I do want. I'm not very lined up with what I do want because I mostly know what I don't want, but then I line up with what I do want, and I line up with it enough that I achieve vibrational alignment with it, and then I click into alignment, and then there's a manifestation. And with this manifestation comes new clarity and a whole new set of contrasting experiences from which I know what I don't want and I know what I do want, and then I line up with what I do want. Takes a little time to do that because what I don't want sometimes is more dominant. But when I find this general feeling place of it, then it clicks into place, and then I receive the manifestation of it and a whole new set of contrasting experiences. So it's always an ongoing process. Nothing has gone wrong. You are well upon the process. You are consciously aware. You know more clearly now than ever before that you are looking for some financial remuneration, and that you're wanting leverage. You're wanting something that gives you plenty of dollars in return to your action. What you're really saying to us, what we heard very clearly vibrationally from you with the words that you were offering, is not that you are wanting a life without action, but that you're wanting the ratio between the activity that you're offering and the feeling of well-being to be commensurate with the money. In other words, you're wanting plenty of dollars to flow. You're just wanting more balance in all of that. And now you have a keener desire for that than ever before. So now let's take this opportunity, since you've come here really specific with us, let's take the opportunity to go general about what you are now wanting. Everyone sort of has a background sense of where you are. So talk to us about where you are in relationship to where you want to be. Just ramble a little bit, because we're going to critique it a little bit. There's no right or wrong here. Everything you say will be helpful to others and to us and to you. So just...
Sure. Okay. Where I am is that my time is completely taken because of these investments. And what I was really wanting to manifest is time freedom that would, I thought, come through not being worried about money.
Let us ask you a question. If you had time freedom, what kinds of things would you do with that time freedom? Because we know you wouldn't do nothing with it. So what would you do with time freedom? You said something really important. You just don't want to be worried about money because you can feel that that's not a good use of time. But when you speak of time freedom, what's your dream?
My dream is actually, I'm a college professor and I teach this course called Managing Self and Others, and basically I'm teaching people to be more self-empowered. So I started doing it internationally, and I want to do much more of that. And again, now I feel that real estate, that is not the passion I thought I had, and you pointed it out, is holding me because of all the issues and problems.
As you're teaching, we keep interrupting you because we're feeling what you're wanting even before your words are finished, so we keep jumping in. When you're teaching others about self-empowerment, of controlling themselves and not controlling others, but controlling the environment around them, living happily ever after, essentially, do you acknowledge that there's a lot of variety in what they want? In other words, you're not teaching them to do real estate, or you're not teaching, sure, you're teaching them basics, yes?
About themselves, to experience, to get to know themselves.
Perfect. So when you think about your general premise from which you are booting them from the nest to go out and fly in the direction of whatever it is that is working for them, can you feel, even as, or maybe mostly as a result of the conversation that we've been experiencing here together today, that it really doesn't matter at all, or let's at least say, to soften it, very much, what endeavor or direction, whether you're a golf pro, or whether you are a golf teacher, or whether you are in real estate, or whether you are a professor, or whether you are a writer, musician, performer, or it doesn't matter in what venue you apply your talent or focus. But what does matter very much is that you're feeling satisfaction in the process. Satisfaction isn't what people think that it is. You see, we said earlier to you, you tried to fill in your grid. You thought that this was the way to get to that. And we're not saying that it isn't. But there's a missing piece in here for you, that once we talk this into place, even where you stand will start blossoming into what you are wanting. You're not having fun doing what you're doing, but that doesn't mean that what you're doing doesn't have the potential of giving you fun. You're not having satisfaction at what you're doing, but it doesn't mean that what you're doing doesn't have the potential of giving you satisfaction. You're not in the wrong game. You're not in the wrong field. It isn't that real estate was the wrong choice. It's that you haven't found the vibrational place yet where you are accomplishing the grid, and then the grid is filling in and giving you the reward of accomplishment that you're looking for. Did that make some sense? We want you to begin feeling that what you're looking for is that awareness in the moment that the grid filled in was something that was pleasing to you because you accomplished the building of the grid and the maintenance of the grid. And that's what you're wanting to teach these people in these classes as well. Because anything less than that is giving them a wild goose chase. Anything less than that, anything short of understanding that you are the creator of your own reality and that law of attraction is responding to your vibration, and your vibration is broadcasting always. And as it is broadcasting out, things that match it are coming back to you. And this analogy of this vortex that we've talked about for a while now, and now this grid that we're talking about, gives you a manageable way to understand that if you are action-oriented and running around through action and behavior and words, trying to control circumstances and events, and trying to manually fill in your grid, of course you're going to be overwhelmed. And you see, it's interesting because that's what you were doing before, and that's what made you reach for something else that you thought would be better, but it wasn't better, it was the same. Because what came before and what came after are all coming to the same grid because you didn't change the grid, you see. Don't you love knowing that? Don't you love knowing that? And don't you further love knowing that you can change the grid? So let's do it now.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, that was good, by the way. So, separate yourself if you can from the activity of the properties and even from the activity of your teaching, and focus with us on the emotion that you are reaching for around the freedom, around the financial freedom. Just give us emotionally descriptive words.
Uplifted.
I like to feel uplifted. That's a good word. But around this, there are deeper things that you want to feel.
I tell
secure
you,
is a good word. Secure, well-being, satisfied,
and free to express myself and be with beings who are
not too much detail. Not too much detail. Because it gets screwy really fast. Because now you're trying to fill the grid in with others.
True.
I like to feel
joyous for sure.
Satisfaction is a really strong emotion, isn't it? I like to feel satisfied. I like to feel, now proud is
passionate.
Passionate. Well, you've got that all the time.
Enthusiastic. Yeah.
Enthusiastic, really, really good emotions that we can feel pulsing within you in a powerful way. A little muted, but still pulsing. But there are other emotional words that speak more to the heart of this grid that you set out to build, that you set out to fill in. What are those around freedom and dollars?
Fulfilled.
Oh, that's really a good one. I like to feel satisfied with I like to feel good at what I do. I like to feel
elated, ecstatic.
Now you're going to those happy feelings, and we want all of those, but those are the feelings that come more from specific thoughts, and they'll come later, and they're all things that you want and that you often experience, but there's something more central to who you are.
Peaceful for sure.
There it is. I want to feel peaceful. Now stay there around the feeling of peaceful and fill that out with more emotional words. Peaceful, satisfied, at ease, in love.
Tranquil, without worries.
Tranquil is good. Without worry. Worry is but it's all right. It's tranquil and peaceful and at one and at ease and capable and confident. And it's the ease. What you're reaching for is the ease of the grid doing its work. The ease of law of attraction doing its work. Now you see,
be able to express myself.
You're there. You're right there. In other words, you're right there. You can feel it, can't you? You're right there. It took a little bit, but you stayed with it long enough that you're right there. So now, as you stay there, now things that represent ease and tranquil and well-being, the grid's going to start filling in. So now, other ideas are going to begin to occur to you. So now speak what comes. I like things to come easily. I like knowing that they will. I like it when I know I'm on the right track. I find this when I'm in the middle of a lecture. I will be on my way to making a point, and suddenly a really good analogy will come into my mind. And as I deliver it, I can feel that I really nailed it because it made the point that people were ready to hear. I'm often right in the flow of things. I really like being in the flow of things.